The internet suddenly crashed just when everyone believed that Yandy Smith and Mendeecees Harris's perilous roller coaster trip had reached its ultimate music limit. The real-life horror show has now reached a scary stage where there is no turning back. Even though the cameras are officially off, the entertainment industry as a whole has been stunned by Yandy Smith's recent release of a horrible and historic bombshell. Officially, she is expecting a child. However, this is the development that is completely upending the internet. It is said that the youngster is not Mendeecees. Michael walks in. The illusion of their precarious tranquility crumbled into a million pieces within minutes after this startling discovery. Mendeecees' response, according to some close to the couple, was genuinely insane and went beyond simple rage. Custody, assets, and reputation are all at danger due to a severe, unstable eruption that has officially begun a brutal multimillion-dollar judicial battle that might ruin everything they have created. Who is this enigmatic Michael? And how did a 10-year affair turn into a heated legal battle? And how prepared are Mendeecees to set everything on fire? Fasten your seatbelts because the turmoil is about to get really intense. In order to fully comprehend the seriousness of Yandy Smith's shocking pregnancy announcement and the explosive legal dispute that has now erupted, we must examine her turbulent past with Mendeecees Harris. The facade of love and hip-hop aristocracy has officially collapsed, exposing a complex web of betrayed trust, secret plans, and a marriage that might have been built on sand from the beginning. They presented themselves as the perfect ride-or-die duo, and viewers of reality TV witnessed their highs and lows for over a decade. Even when Mendeecees was facing serious federal drug trafficking charges that ultimately landed him in jail for several years, Yandy, the incredibly successful and devoted businesswoman, stood by him. She raised his kids, took care of his house, protected his reputation from the public's constant criticism, and maintained their brand while he was incarcerated. However, even before the federal government intervened, deep-seated animosity, rumors of infidelity, and covert communication with other women were beginning to surface behind the scenes. The dynamic had completely changed by the time Mendeecees were released from prison and returned to their normal lives, when the reality of their circumstances struck them like a cargo train. Mendeecees, on the other hand, found it difficult to blend in with a society that had moved on without him, which frequently resulted in fierce power clashes that were captured on reality television. Yandy had been accustomed to being the only decision-maker, the family's unquestionable source, and its cornerstone. When the two moved to Atlanta and joined the cast of Love and Hip Hop, Atlanta, the already obvious friction between them escalated from small arguments over household rules to full-fledged yelling altercations about respect, loyalty, control, and more. The public started to notice that a cold, business-like arrangement appeared to have replaced the genuine love they had previously experienced, and instead of a fresh start, the move only made their pre-existing musical problems worse, putting their failing relationship under intense scrutiny. Because of her independent lifestyle and inability to live up to his expectations, Mendeecees and Yandy were frequently at odds. There is a lot of conjecture on the internet that their marriage was nothing more than a carefully crafted contract intended to maximize reality TV earnings and maintain a lucrative public image. Then, in Atlanta's social circles, there were reports that Mendeecees and Yandy were no longer sleeping together, let alone enjoying a happy married life, which was the last straw that laid the stage for the current disaster. Even though the Cold War had started in secret, neither side could have predicted how quickly it would turn into a massacre in public. The last sign of this covert separation came when astute fans discovered that the two had discreetly unfollowed each other on social media, erased recent photos of each other, and ignored each other's notable professional accomplishments. The name Michael started to appear on the periphery during this time of intense emotional alienation. Yandy was supposedly going out, growing her professional network, and finding comfort in the company of a new, wealthy, and extremely well-known character, while Mendeecees was concentrating on his own interests and withdrawing from the marital residence. Like music, the rumors grew louder, implying that Yandy's relationship with this enigmatic Michael was much more than just friendship or business partnership. It was a total escape from the turmoil of her life with Mendeecees, and gave her a sense of comfort and serenity that she hadn't experienced in years. As the distance between Yandy and Mendeecees grew into an impassable chasm, the ground was being secretly prepared for an announcement that would not only permanently destroy their marriage, but also spark an unprecedented legal and personal battle. When the official announcement was made, the quiet murmurs behind closed doors quickly turned into a global digital fire. Yandy Smith became pregnant. In the world of celebrity speculations, reality TV criticism, and music, a pregnancy announcement is typically greeted with a flurry of congratulations, plans for a baby shower, and joyful social media posts. The mood was quite different this time, though, as everyone on the internet gasped when the schedule just did not work out. She and Mendeecees had been leading radically different lives for months, as everyone who had been watching the swift decline of her marriage was aware. The statistics didn't add up, and the streets were already talking. The plot changed from a straightforward divorce to the ultimate betrayal, when it was ultimately revealed that the father of the unborn kid was none other than the enigmatic character known as Michael. Mendeecees became completely unhinged upon learning of the pregnancy. According to people close to Love and Hip Hop's production crew, Mendeecees was furious when he first learned about the pregnancy and Michael's involvement. This public revelation was the height of contempt for a man who has always delighted in maintaining an image of strict control, respect, and street-certified machismo. It wasn't your typical quarrel. What was described as an irrational, scorched earth confrontation was reported to have permanently changed their relationship. The intense public humiliation caused by the lady who had supported him during a federal prison sentence, publicly starting a family with another man, while still legally using your last name, is the source of the fury, in addition to the emotional sorrow of a shattered marriage. In the face of emotional distress, a cold-blooded, unwavering legal mentality quickly took its place. Mendeecees did not treat his wounds passively. The logical course of action in this situation is total revenge, so he immediately assembled his formidable legal team to unleash a full-scale assault. The financial stakes in their divorce and legal battle are extremely high because they have worked together for over a decade to build a massive, multi-million-dollar business. We are talking about merging production companies, lucrative television contracts, high-value real estate holdings dispersed across several states, and shared bank accounts that are directly related to their public branding. The bank accounts weren't the end of the legal battle, though, as Mendeecees' legal team promptly filed petitions to freeze joint assets and demanded a thorough forensic investigation of all their shared money to make sure that not a single dollar of their combined fortune was being diverted toward Yandy's new life or her new child. The upcoming conflict over parental rights and custody is the most devastating and heartbreaking part of this entire rollout. Yandy and Mendeecees have brought their families together over the years, raising their children together and forging strong emotional ties that are now being used as weapons in a court case. According to reports, Mendeecees is using the quick pregnancy and Michael's abrupt arrival as leverage to build a case that portrays Yandy as an unstable and unsuitable home for the kids in order to obtain full primary custody. There are several charges of financial manipulation, emotional neglect, and parental alienation in the convoluted legal records. Michael's secret, meantime, exacerbates the situation. He is more than a chance rebound. Mendeecees is unaffected by the negative public image and legal threats because he is wealthy and well-connected. According to reports, Michael has intervened to give Yandy a top-notch legal defense team of her own, making this a costly battle. Yandy is determined and will not be intimidated by the man she wants to keep safe, claiming that it would reveal sinister truths from Mendeecees' history that he fervently wishes to keep out of the courts. She is getting ready to utilize music as a method of revenge. The peace of the courts has been shattered. The sketched lines are ready to be dropped by both sides. Now that the courthouse's doors are locked, what is taking place inside is nothing less than a heritage being completely destroyed by scorched earth. There's more to this than just an ugly celebrity split that will be featured in a later reality TV season. Both sides are fighting for keeps in this high-stakes, multi-million-dollar court case. As the lawsuit's discovery phase intensifies, both parties' legal strategies have shifted from defensive posturing to complete devastation. Yandy's legal team has launched Music, a lethal counteroffensive that targets Mendeecees' most vulnerable asset, with the help of Mendeecees' enormous financial resources, his freedom as well as his financial survival. They believe that in order to avoid paying required spousal and child support, Mendeecees has been hiding large amounts of money in off-the-books accounts. Additionally, they have filed numerous counterclaims demanding a thorough line-by-line examination of his independent commercial endeavors. The situation's hypocrisy is what is truly infuriating the internet. For years, Yandy managed the money, kept the lights on, and protected the family's belongings while Mendeecees was away. Mendeecees is now attempting to use the legal system to take away the very wealth she worked so hard to protect. However, Yandy is no longer the obedient ride-or-die companion who will remain silent to preserve a man's good name. Her legal team is reportedly preparing to present an overwhelming amount of digital evidence, such as years' worth of old emails, text messages, and bank receipts, which paint a bleak and unquestionable picture of what life was like behind their locked doors. These records are said to provide proof of severe marital infidelity, ongoing financial hardships, and long-term emotional abuse that might substantially harm Mendeecees' reputation with television networks. The conflict over the children has escalated to a horrifying level of poison, since the financial holdings are in jeopardy. Blended families are delicate even in the best of circumstances, but the psychological harm is severe when a well-publicized legal dispute splits a family. Many insiders saw Mendeecees' aggressive pursuit of primary custody as a planned act of retaliation intended to cause Yandy as much emotional suffering as possible during her pregnancy. In response, Yandy's legal team has asked for a court-mandated psychological assessment and a rigorous supervised visitation plan for Mendeecees, claiming that his recent spectacular public outbursts and past legal issues make him a high-risk environment for the children. Family court judges have been compelled to impose stringent gag orders that prohibit either side from disclosing the custody facts on social media or on gossip blogs due to the intense back-and-forth filings. However, the public outcry is already costing both of them millions of dollars in missed opportunities, and a gag order cannot stop the streets from shouting. Corporate sponsors, network executives, and brands are quickly pulling away from the complete mess surrounding the ex-couple. Production companies are reluctant to approve new projects because of the enormous legal cloud that hangs over them and the covert termination of sponsorship agreements. Because neither side is prepared to make concessions, swallow their pride, and resolve this amicably in private, the kingdom they established more than 10 years ago is steadily falling apart. Michael is still the wild card in this whole situation. His presence in Yandy's life has significantly changed the power dynamics. Because of their strong emotional bond, Mendeecees thought Yandy would always agree with his requests, therefore he was accustomed to having total control over music. However, Yandy is defending herself like never before because of Michael's strong financial support and superior degree of legal protection. Sources claim that Michael is handling this legal battle out of pride, making sure Yandy has access to the top defense lawyers, forensic accountants, and private security information to deal with the extreme strain. This is no longer merely a divorce. Their ability to withstand the complete devastation of their past lives will determine the outcome of this epic struggle, not who is correct. This raises the most terrifying question of all. Is this really the end of the queue for Yandy and Mendeecees, or are we only seeing the beginning of a far more serious and perilous conflict? Two people who once vowed to ride or die for one another are now purposefully attempting to ruin each other's life. When you take away the fame, reality TV cameras, dazzling lights, and multi-million-dollar enterprise, now that the empire they built in front of us for more than 10 years is burning up in real time, there is no going back. However, there are a wide range of perspectives on the internet regarding this entire issue. That's why I want to hear from everyone. After years of defending Mendeecees, do you believe Yandy had the right to continue seeking security and tranquility with Michael? Or do you believe that this pregnancy announcement represented the pinnacle of betrayal and public disdain for a husband attempting to start over? When the dust settles, who do you think will prevail in this bitter legal battle? Use the space provided below to share your ideas, music, theories, and unfiltered comments. I'll be down there reading them and chatting with you all, as you are all aware. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and enable post notifications if you want to be the first to know when a new episode is released. Don't miss a single update if you want to be fully updated on this high-stakes legal battle as it develops. I really appreciate you viewing. I'll see you in the next deep dive, so keep it locked right here.